Hey guys, how's it going? It's Hypnos TCG here, and today I'm bringing you a deck list on Alolan Vulpix Kyurem VMAX. So, I played quite a few decks recently and tried out a bunch of different ones and, getting the feel of the meta and stuff. And I decided to make my own build with Alolan Vulpix and Kyurem. So let's go ahead and get into the deck list. And I'll go ahead and I'll describe stuff while I'm going on with it, but here we go. So we're starting out here with two of the Alolan Vulpix B. Its main attack is White Drop. It does 10, plus if your opponent's active Pokemon is a V, it does 50 more damage, so it's basically no energy for a free 60 damage if they're a V. Good attack if you're getting stuck with just him. Then we have the two Alolan Vulpix VSTAR, and this guy is quite fun. 240 HP, 3 for 160. This attack isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from Pokemon that have an ability. So this shuts down, I'd say, like 80% of the meta. And there's a few other cards in this deck to where it makes it to where they can't do anything else besides, stick with this and do no damage for the most part. On the other hand, its V-Star power is no energy. It's 70 times the amount of Pokemon V your opponent has in play. It's not affected by weakness or resistance either. But that's pretty good V power. I've been contemplating on putting in Forest Seal Stone, maybe. Because I don't really use the V-Star ability quite a bit. But yeah. So, into the rest of the Pokemon, we got two Kyurem Vs. And his attack here is Rapid Freeze. 1 Water Energy, and you can attach any number of Water Energy cards from your hand to your Pokemon any way you like, and then 3 for 140. Really good starting out if you got a bunch of Water Energies, and trust me, you probably will with this deck most likely. It's really good at accelerating, it's really good at setting up. I don't think I hardly ever break for the most part, and if I ever do break, I'm able to get out of it pretty easily just because of the amount of support that this deck has. And then along with him, we got the two Kyurem VMAXs, 330 HP, pretty chonker. His ability is Glaciated Wound, and once during a turn you can discard the top card of your deck. If that card's a Water Energy card, then you can attach it to one of your Pokemon. Really good. People play Kyurem, Kyurem Palkia, and some other stuff like that. I don't like Palkia. It's a waste. Why would you want to play Palkia whenever you can have Vulpix that can just say, nah, no attacks? But his attack is 3 for 120, and you can discard any amount of Water Energy from this Pokemon, and it does 50 more damage for each card you discard in this way. Really good for hitting the numbers that you can't hit with the Alolan Vulpix, because they don't run Choice Belts or anything in here either. Good reasoning to not run Choice Belts, though, and we'll see that in just a second. And for the last of our Pokemon, we're running one-ofs. We got a Drapion for the Mew match. It's pretty self-explanatory. But if you don't know, his attack Wild Style, it costs 1 colorless less for each of your opponent's Single Strike, Rapid Strike, or Fusion Strike Pokemon in play. And it does 190, and then it hits for weakness. They're dead. Fairly simple. Then we got an Oranguru. This is good for putting our Water Energy on top of the deck for Kyurem's ability. Quite fun. And then our Radiant Greninja is for concealed cards, and sometimes Moonlight Shuriken, depending on how we're feeling and how the matchup is. But really good for discarding, because it's discarding a energy card, not just water. It's any energy in general, and then you get to draw 2. Really good at accelerating. Now we're going to get into the trainers. So to start out the trainers, we're running 3 Irida. This lets you search your deck for a water Pokemon and an item card, reveal them, and put them into your hand, and then shuffle your deck. Extremely good accelerant card for this deck. It's a water deck. It goes in every water deck. If you don't have it in your water deck, I don't know what you're doing. It's really good for searching out whatever kind of water Pokemon you really need to start with. But you can also search, you get your water, and you can get a battle pass, a VIP battle pass too. That way you can set up faster, which is quite fun in my opinion. So technically this deck runs, I would say, what is it? What do I got in here? 6 battle passes. So you're almost guaranteed to have at least one on your first go-around. Next up on supporters, we're running 2 Serenas. This is one of the newer cards from Silver Tempest, along with Alolan Vulpix, which is also new. She lets you discard up to 3 cards from your hand. You have to discard at least 1. If you do, draw cards until you have 5. Or then you can gust up one of your opponent's bench Pokemon that are a V and switch it. So that's pretty good. Really good draw support. Really good for gusting. I've used it quite a bit. I'd say a 2-up in this deck is quite enough. Then we got 2 Melonies here. Attach a water energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon V and you play, and then you draw 3. Again, really good for acceleration, and, you know, we're running basically water Pokemon Vs for the most part. Really good for making plays and attaching almost basically 3 energy per turn if you got a Kyurem out too. Quite good, quite enjoyable, would recommend. Fun card. One of supporters that we're running is we have 1 Boss's Orders. Everybody should know this card. It's switch your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active. And 1 Marnie for hand disruption, because, you know, you gotta love hand disruption. And then on to the item cards. We have a total of 4, count it, 4 Scoop Up Nets. This is probably my favorite card to use in this deck. I would say that most of the time I'm using Scoop Up Nets, it's because I'm using it on Greninja to conceal cards 2 to 3 times per turn. Quite fun. But for those who don't know, put one of your Pokemon that isn't a V or a GX into your hand and discard all attached cards. Really fun. Really fun to mess around with. Really good card. Can also get you out of situations if you got, you know, either the Greninja or the Oranguru in the front. So you can just scoop them up and then switch into something else that's better. Because we do run some switches, but, you know, it's not like a bunch of switching cards. So that helps out a bit. Next up, we're running 3 Capacious Buckets. Is it Capacious? Capacious? It's one of those 2. Search your deck for 2 water energy cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Amazing card. I play Cap, you know, all the time. I always get it. It's always fun having first hand, too, because you can, you know, Battle VIP Pass for Greninja, and then Cap, and then get some water energy and search, and a bunch of whole fun stuff. Then we have 3 Battle VIP Pass, and I know that it's probably a little bit surprising that I run 3 and not 4, but that's just how I feel. 3 is enough, especially with Iridas too. Search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon, put them on your bench, shuffle your deck. But you can only play on the first turn. But really good card, really nice. Next up on the item lines, we're running 2 Evolution Incense. Search your deck for an Evolution Pokemon, reveal and put it into your hand. This is good for trying to find the, you know, Kyurem VMAX and the Vulpix. That's literally the only reason it's in here, because sometimes you won't be able to find it. So it's really good to have those just in case. Then we got 2 Quick Balls. You can only play it if you discard cards. So, you know, Quick Ball, you discard, search your deck for a basic Pokemon, and then put it into your hand, which is really good. Not onto the bench, you put it into your hand, so it's really good for searching out Drapion if you need it for the Mew matchup, or, you know, Oranguru, Radiant Greninja if you don't have it already. Good card, good card. And then our last 2 of is going to be 2 switches here. If you don't know what switch is, I don't know where you've been. But it's switch your active Pokemon, one of your bench Pokemon. Really, really good. And I'll have a deck list in the description below too. Because I'm not going to be able to fit like everything on here to where you could just look at it. Which is my fault, but apologize about that. And to move on to one of the items, we're running 2 Leafy Camo Ponchos. This is amazing. I don't know why people aren't running it more, but it's whenever your opponent plays a supporter card from their hand, prevent all effects of that card done to the Pokemon VSTAR or VMAX this card's attached to. So, for instance, you can have a VSTAR Alolan Vulpix in the active and a Kyurem VMAX on the bench. So you have the Leafy Camo Poncho on him, and they're up there, so you attack, they can't use abilities, then you have that on the bench, and they can't gust it up unless you're using Cross Switcher or Pokemon Catcher. That's literally it. So they're kind of locked for the most part, which is quite enjoyable, and I pissed a few people off. Then we have Ordinary Rod, one of. This is just in case, you know, you need some more energy back into the deck, or, you know, some of these are getting discarded because you did an accident, or you needed to get better cards. And then we have a one of a Big Parasol. This is for, like, the Sableye and stuff like that. Anything that really affects us more, because we're trying to control the game for the most part, I guess you could say. Big Parasol is pretty good. I just run it as a one-of for now. I don't think I'm going to change that either. I think it's going to stay as a one-of. Seems pretty good. Big Charm is a one-of. That's to go onto the Kyurem most likely, but sometimes it does go into the Vulpix, depending on what kind of playstyle is going on. But you just get an extra 30 HP, so you can have either 360 HP here, or you can have 270 HP here. Pretty good as a one-of. And then we have a Hisuian Heavy Ball. And that is for in case any of our basics get prized, especially for these two and the Drapion, so we can get him back. Then we have a Lost Vacuum. This is for tool removal or stadium removal, because Path of the Peak is about one of the only things that shut down this deck pretty well. That's pretty much it for that. That's the only reason I'm playing it. I had a Pumpkaboo in here, but I didn't like getting that first and getting, you know, stuck with that in the active, and I can't really get out of it and stuff like that. And the rest of the trainer cards that we run is 2 Training Courts to get energy back from the discard pile, and then a Temple of Sinnoh for Lugia and other special energy decks too. Really good. It does counter our 1 Wash energy we run, but it's not too much of a problem. On the energy, we run 2 V-Guard energy. Takes 30 less damage from your opponent's Pokemon V. Really good to have on the Alolan Vulpix here. Put those there. Running a single Wash energy. It's basically the same effect as Parasol, and Sinnoh does cancel this out. That's about the only thing. But it's not too much. It's just an extra backup, just in case. And then the rest, we're running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 water energies. And that's pretty much it for the deck profile. It's really fun. Took me quite a bit to figure out the deck list for this and what works the best, but it's good. It's it helps in situations that you wouldn't think that it would. It's really good against most of the meta. So far the only problem I've had is not getting set up fast enough, but then again, that's not all the time. I don't think I've really encountered any decks that affect it too much to where I wouldn't be able to do anything. Like I said, the only thing that really shuts down this deck is Path of the Peak. Because I need abilities, that's about it. Other than that, I don't think I've really played against anything that's been a problem against the deck. I will keep everybody updated though, and like I said, I'll have the deck list in the description below. And I'll also be recording a gameplay video on PTCGO for the deck here, and a couple more decks too. I got some in mind that I've made. That'll be coming out tomorrow or sometime this week, most likely. But I really appreciate it. I'm a new channel and stuff. If you guys could like, comment, and subscribe, it'd really help me out. Trying to get out here in the Pokemon TCG. I plan on going to a couple of regionals and filming that stuff, so we're going to have some fun. If you got any comments, questions, or concerns, please just leave it down in the comments below. I'll answer them as fast as possible. Really appreciate it. Hope you have a good day. Later.